sitting on the couch. I want to get up. This is how, I'm using a cane. I do have a walker as well for longer distances, but I do need to stable myself with the armrest. I need to get all the way to the edge of the couch, and this is me. This is what it looks like on day 7. Okay, now that hurts. It hurts a lot, but the cool part is that it hurts where the incision is. It doesn't hurt where my back used to hurt. I could tell from day 1, right out of surgery and recovery, that the places that were bothering me, my legs and my hips and whatnot, that was gone. So now I've got this incision. I've got about a 6-inch incision on the front side, just to the left of my belly button, down below my pants line, waistline, and then on the back side, the incision is right down the center of my spine, and those are where my pain is now generating from. And so that's awesome. Is that no longer is it the pain that I had prior to surgery. So as you can see, day 7, I was able to get off the couch, and again, not without pain, but I was able to do it. Now that looked a lot better than it did on the first day that I came home. My wife still kind of had to help me get out of the chair, or the couch, or wherever it was that I was getting up from. What else could I tell you? Everything's just hard right now. Everything's just difficult. You're extremely cognizant of how you're bending. My doctor basically has told me for 3 months, do not twist. Don't lift anything more than a jug of milk. Be very, very careful when bending. So tying shoes, stuff like that. Getting dressed is a challenge, and really she's been helping me with almost every time I'm getting dressed. But I'll get to the point where I actually have one of those little 4-foot arm things with the little clasp on it, the little handle that I can pick stuff off the floor and whatnot. And I'm sure I'll learn little tricks and stuff like that to get dressed. But it's just everything's going to take longer, and it is. And so, but things are progressing. Unfortunately, we had this snow, so I'm a little hesitant to get outside and walk, so I'm trying to walk around the house. Even we'll do a couple of laps up and down the stairs, slowly and carefully. Everything is slow and careful, because as is right now, really what's holding me together is I have 2 screws coming from the front and 6 screws coming from the back, and there's no bone growth yet. So if I were to take a fall, I could do some serious damage. So I am extremely cautious when walking around the house, and certainly don't want to take any risky moves that I don't need to do. So some other things that I hope to talk about doing this blog is my diet. My diet's changed pretty significantly over the last 4 years, and I was for a long time there. Well, for a short time there, probably about 6 months, I was a full-fledged vegan, and then I slowly kind of got back to eating cheese because I really had a hard time finding a vegan cheese that was any good. I'm sure it's out there, but I just haven't been able to find it. And then slowly I started incorporating meat again, but not red meat. A few times. I've probably had red meat maybe half a dozen to 10 times in the last 4 years. My wife and I would eat chicken maybe once every 2 weeks, and then we would have fish maybe once every 2 weeks. But recently, my sister-in-law, she was diagnosed with lymphoma, and about 2 months ago, and so as a result of that, she drastically changed her diet. Well, my wife and I decided to kind of get on the bandwagon again, so to speak, and kind of ramp things up once again and start learning more and researching more and reading more. And so we are now, for sure, we are vegetarians, 100%. And we're very close to being vegan again. But that's not a huge issue with us. We're not necessarily trying to be vegan. We're just trying. Our biggest thing is we're trying to avoid as much processed food as possible. We're trying to eat 80% of our food. It's hard, but we're trying to eat 80% of our food in its raw form. So a lot of vegetables, not as much fruit, but just because of the sugar. But trying to eliminate sugar in the form of processed sugar. So really, the only sugar we're attempting to intake is from fruit, and that's hard because sugar's in everything. So, but we still manage. We make a veggie lasagna. So, we'll make our own pasta sauce. So we'll find tomato paste and tomato sauce, roasted tomatoes in cans. We'll find all that stuff sugar-free and mix it all together, and then add our herbs and spices and stuff like that. So it's doable. Again, it's just more work. It is. I'm not going to lie. It's definitely more effort to eat that way. We juice a lot every morning. I make a huge 64-ounce jar of it's a combination of spinach, cucumber, broccoli, celery, an apple. Sometimes that's kind of like the mainstay, and then we'll throw beets or sprouts, variation of things, but basically that green juice gets consumed every day. And then in the evening we'll make some type of smoothie or something. A lot of salads, a lot of soup. We had made a veggie chili yesterday. Actually, my wife did, and it was fantastic. And I would almost argue that somebody that was eating it and didn't know it probably wouldn't even have known that there's not meat in it. It's that good. So that's a part of this purpose too for this blog, is I want to inspire people to start making some changes in regards to diet as well. I'm 38 years old, and I have every intention in the world to be in the best health of my life by the time I'm 40. So that gives me, a year and a half to get my back fixed, to recover from that, lose some weight, and as stated in my text in the initial blog, is I have every intention of running an Ironman. And I've done lots of small races. I've done lots of half marathons. A good friend of mine and I did adventure racing for 5 years. An avid biker, runner, that type of stuff. But I've never been able to reach my full potential because of my back. And I'm certainly not saying, hey, I'm going to make a career out of this. I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. It's a bucket list type of thing. I have always wanted to complete an Ironman. And my goal is to do that, and I know diet is a huge part of it. So I have been living in chronic pain for so long, and it has crept up so slowly that I truly don't remember what it was like to not be in pain. I can honestly say for the last 10 to 15 years, I have been in some form of pain 24 hours a day. Okay, now that pain varies. It's been a roller coaster. Some days it might be at 3, some days it might be at 9. But it's been there. And you don't realize what that does to your life over a decade. You know, you think to yourself, well, I still went to the Boundary Waters twice last year and I managed. Yeah, that was great. You don't think about what you felt like after you portaged 3 miles that day and how you were at camp that night. You don't think about the week that you spent when you got home, barely able to, you know, just crippled and barely able to walk around the house. You don't remember that stuff. I've been in the emergency room several times over the last 4 years. You only think about the things that you did. You don't ever think about the results or the impacts from the pain. And it takes a toll on you. And I was very scared about this entire process because this isn't something that they can undo. They literally took 3 of my vertebrae and, you know, my L4, my L5, and my S1, and shoved some cadaver bone in where they ripped the discs out, and now that's all going to be one solid bone. You can't change that, okay? But I got to the point where this was the only option. I've done the 3 months of therapy. I've done years of you know, chiropractic, sports chiropractic type work. I've done injections, and nothing's worked. And yeah, I've still been able to run and whatnot, but nothing has worked long term. And there are options out there, and that's why I was inspired to do this blog. Is I want to help other people, and I want to make sure that people realize that you don't have to live like this. So please follow along. I will definitely post as much as I can. And again, it's not always going to be primarily about my back. It might be about my diet. It might be about something that inspired me. It might be a story about somebody else. And you know, I forewarned you on the original entry. You'll probably see some pictures of my dog Filson because I just simply like talking about him, and he's awesome, and he's a big part of my life, and makes me happy. So I'm sure there'll be some funny stories, and I'll be hanging out with him quite a bit here until I go back to work. So like I said, please share this with as many people as you can that you know that might be living a similar situation. It might not be their back. It might be a hip problem. It might be a neck problem. Any type of chronic pain. It's life is too short to live like this, and so I'm going to do this partly to keep me motivated too. You know, as I recover, staying motivated and writing about this is gonna keep my attitude positive and get me where I want to get. So and please contact me with comments and replies or anything. So I'm just kind of wanted to send out one quick little video update to kind of catch us up to where I'm at now from the first week, and then from going forward we'll be kind of moving from 1 week out. We'll kind of move from going forward now. We'll start from 1 week out after surgery.